welcome to another jam-packed episode of Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the chilly, rainy, windy, and blustery confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast not only here on YouTube, but on Substack, Apple Podcasts, Patreon, Spotify, Trovo, and as well as on Podbean. Happy to be here with you guys on this beautiful October 13, 2025. Jam-packed episode. This episode is going to be about the Eagles and Giants recap and that disaster for me and my fellow fans of the Bird Gang. Fly, but damn, that was a terrible fucking game. Giants were able to pull out the victory. I believe it was 34 to 17. So rough game, definitely a lot to unpack for the Bird Gang. A lot of things to digest. Some things that I see, there were definitely issues that are plaguing the team now, and some issues I think that the team could basically avoid and could fix down the stretch, and also some things that I think might not be avoidable. So we're going to get into all of it now, but before we do, definitely want to make sure we give a couple shout outs to several friends of the show. If you guys are familiar with the show, and if you aren't, as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. But if you are familiar with the show, as you know, two friends of the show, very avid, big friends of the show, are StubHub and Viagogo, the number 1 and number 2 leading ticket resellers in the world to live events, shows, and concerts. As you'll see here on the screen, there are a plethora of different events going on right now for StubHub and Viagogo. I implore you to check that out, especially if you're not doing anything with your fall, you got something to do with a spouse or friends on the weekend, want to make the most of your time. Definitely make sure you check out StubHub and Viagogo. Check out the tickets and events that are available right now. And they are available with the creative ID links within the description box of this video. And also for my avid gamers out there, if you're a big PlayStation fan like myself, I implore you to check out PlayStation Direct. Wherever it is that you need, whether it's a console, controllers, games, bundle packages, exclusive offers, whatever it is that you're looking for, Sony PlayStation Direct has it. I implore you to check it out. Sony PlayStation, more than a game. All right, guys, so now going into this episode, Eagles versus Giants recap. What the fuck type of performance was that from the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday night? Fucking embarrassment, for lack of better words. I did a video, a recap video, a ton of videos prepping for that game, and let's just say people definitely came out full force to talk shit. And I loved y'all that did comment and shout out the video and watched it and spoke on it. I thank you all because it definitely was crazy work, to say the least. Recapping the game itself is kind of crazy at this point, but I mean, Philly, you kind of got wooed again. First half running game looked real good. You're going into it thinking like, okay, Saquon's running the ball real well, might be able to control this clock and play this game the way we want to. And then you don't get any points, you settle for a field goal. Bad omen early. You got Kaylee Ringo giving up deep balls early on third downs on the next drive. Not great. Dart scrambling was affecting the defense. Not great. And then all of a sudden the Giants score. So you figure, okay, it's going to be a tight little battle. They're definitely going to be prepared tonight. Our defense got gashed. And I mean fucking gashed on the run. But the offense fared no better. When you are playing that horrible, where on third down, you are playing some of the worst fucking football imaginable. I mean, I need you to understand how bad it has been for the Philadelphia Eagles this season so far on third down, going into third down percentages, things like that, third down conversions, things of that nature. The Eagles fucking suck right now. They fucking suck right now. They have a winning record because they have a talented team and they've been able to overcome a lot. I love this team. I've been a fan of this team since I was 3 years old, but this team has definite flaws that are fixable, but are flaws nonetheless. First thing, in that first half, how many times are we going to continue to see this offense come out potent, effective, fresh, looking good, everything feeling good, and then all of a sudden, soon as the second half kicks off, you're talking about the 6th worst fucking offense in the second half in the NFL. I mean, it's egregious. It's no way in hell that you can win like that. That's not a winning formula. And then you got a situation where it's like, okay, they're getting explosives on you. Now they're getting explosive plays on you. What I mean, Philadelphia had to be embarrassed. I mean, Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, I know damn good and well they coached those guys up better than that. I know the game plan definitely was more sound than what was actually displayed. But the Eagles flat out shit the bed. Flat out shit the bed. It was a very lackluster performance. Left a lot to be desired. And then going into the end of the first half, one of the most egregious fucking plays, I think, in the Nick Sirianni, Jalenhurts era of these guys being coach and quarterback, that clock management sequence going into halftime. I mean, you just got a lead not too long ago. You're up 17-13, and then they storm back. They get the lead back from you. It's now 20-17. You don't do anything really to you use your timeouts. You don't stop them defensively. So now you got the possession, you got the ball, you don't have any timeouts. You know already the clock is not your friend. You got to get to the boundaries, you got to take your shots, you got to be advantageous with whatever the defense is giving you. And I want to make sure I'm reading this correctly so that way, you know, I'm not mincing my words. I'm not trying to come off like a dickhead. I want to make sure that I'm getting this all correct. This is the second quarter. This is the end of half here. I'm going to read this to you in sequence. 8 plays, 45 yards, total time, 1 minute and 19 seconds, right? You get a kickoff. You got Bigsby muffing the catch. Gets basically 7 yards. Okay. Saquon rips off a run for 18 yards. Great. Jalen Hurts throws it to A.J. Brown, 9 yards. Throws it again to A.J. Brown, 9 yards. Great. Incomplete to Goddard. Deep shot to Smitty. Oh my God, it was tailor-made for this moment. Incomplete. Missed him. Then you get a timeout going, and now it's 3rd and 10. And this right here just speaks volumes of not being alert, not having the awareness of the situation. It's 3rd and 10. You're on your 43. You have no timeouts. Your goal is to get 3 points at a minimum before halftime. Jalen runs, breaks off 9 yards, slides in the middle of the field. You have no timeouts. So what do you do then at that point? You get no points. So now there's no points going into halftime. You're down 20-17 to a team that you should be beating, albeit it's a division game, albeit and anything can happen on any given day, especially when you're playing football. But the reality of the situation is you were playing a team who was going out there with a mass unit for wide receivers. Make no mistake, without technology being privy to you and accessible, if you had to name the wide receivers that played Thursday night, I would give you myself $500,000. But we all know you couldn't do that because why? No one had a fucking clue who any of these guys were. And yet the Eagles defense could not stop them to save their fucking lives. I get it. You have no Jalen Carter to start the game. You know, I talked about it in the preview video last week. He had a heel issue going into the game. I figured on a short week, they weren't going to play him. The smart idea would be to rest him, let his body get right, give him that little 10-day window, then try him back out there on the practice field going into the Minnesota game where you really, really, really are going to need him on the defensive line. Okay, that being said, you then lose Quinyon Mitchell to a hamstring injury early. Now he's sitting on the sidelines in a fucking beanie. He can't really help you. Your best corner's out. And what do we have to replace him? What do we have on defense to replace him? Fucking Adoree Jackson and Kaylee Ringo. 2 of the worst corners right now, in my opinion, in the NFL at that position. Kaylee Ringo came in with such promise. He has just not been that fucking guy. And it's a lot of season left. Yes, there's only been 6 games played. There's still 10, 11 games to go. Make no mistake about what I'm saying to you. He has not lived up to the hype. And Adoree Jackson, I think I've been saying all season that he was just a mistake of a signing. And we see now why he didn't last with the Titans and he didn't last with the Giants and won't last with the Philadelphia Eagles. It just overall, it just didn't look good. Aesthetically, it looked very sloppy and piss poor going into halftime. Then you top that off with, you get a deep ball opportunity to Smitty again. Giants then respond by scoring. You give Cam Scatterbo the fucking game of his life. I mean, this kid, I want to make sure I'm reading his stats correctly. This kid had career high 98 yards on 19 attempts. I mean, like, the defense just, without Jalen Carter there and on that front line, they fold like a fucking lawn chair. It's very, very startling when you have Jordan Davis there, you have Moro Ojomo, you have guys who have played along the defensive line and have played well in run support, and it just seems like they don't really have an answer. We all know Nolan Smith is out too with the injury. He's on IR. You're probably going to get him back sometime right around the bye, which is like week 9. So you have some time to get him healed up and get him acclimated back to the field. I mean, the Giants just took the Eagles to the fucking woodshed. Like I said, 34-17. And it was funny because that was the score that I predicted for the Eagles. It was actually reversed and predicted, and the Giants actually won it. So it just was a bad game. It's one of those games where you have to basically, it's Murphy's Law, whatever could go wrong, will go wrong. It's something the Eagles are going to have to scrap and just kind of throw away and just learn from this experience, as you thought they would have learned from the Denver experience. 2-game losing streak now. Key takeaways. They're in trouble. And they're in trouble for a multitude of different reasons. It's not the reasons that most people commonly think. First and foremost, they've been inconsistent with their execution, which I think that has been the biggest problem, because when you're trying to execute at a high level, peak capacity, you know what it's like to be at the top of the mountain. You know what it's like to be a champion. Sometimes you kind of think it's like a button that you could just press and it turns on. It's about being in a flow, being in a rhythm. All of that matters. Eagles are completely out of sync and out of rhythm right now offensively for a whole 2 quarters. Because again, I reiterate, and I'm going to read this to you so that way I'm making sure I'm getting this correct. 3rd down conversion percentage. Eagles are 27th in the NFL. Again, not great. Let's go a step further here. And I mean, when you're 27th in the NFL on 3rd down conversions, you're pretty much saying we can't move the fucking ball in the manner and way that we want to. Which again, it's not fucking great when, you know, it's just a rat bastard situation. The reality of the point is, though, the key takeaways for Philadelphia right now, you got to get healthy. You got to minimize these penalties. Another thing, too, penalties. Eagles are 25th in the NFL right now in penalties. Not good. Not good by any stretch of the imagination. 3rd down percentage. The Eagles, I told you, terrible. Terrible. I mean, like, there's no way in hell you're going to win football games playing like this. Yes, Jalen Hurts has missed some shots. Yes, the guys have definitely missed some deep shots down the field. Yes, the passing offense has been inconsistent. I would even argue that the running game has been inconsistent. I would argue all of those things to be true. But let's just talk basic, rudimentary football shit, right? You can't win on 3rd down. You can't win. You're getting the penalties in bad spots and bad situations. And let's just say it for lack of better words, your offensive coordinator really doesn't either know what he's doing, or there's a lot of trial and error here that is just so much error that they kind of got a feeling that he can turn it around. I mean, thank God this isn't 2023 where you're 10-1 and then you have a 6-game slide that just pretty much kills all hope of the season, even going into the playoffs. You know, now you're 6 games in, you're 4-2, and you're kind of like, oh, it's one of those things where I would definitely contest and say, right now, you have to really address a lot of things. That's accountability, that's predictability, and that's confidence. The Eagles, Lane Johnson stated as much. If the Eagles don't address these things, I don't really see how they can change their season around. This will be prior to week 9, 3 weeks from now, which is the bye week. This will be the most pivotal stretch of football for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's really no juggernauts this year, which I think is a great thing for all teams. There's no teams really standing out above the fray. There's still time. There's still a lot of time left in the season for Philly. Guys, fans alike, we got to stop that whole, the house is on fire, everything's a 5-alarm fire, everything's just a fucking ablaze, and we're not going to get it together, and we're just going to suck ass. Give these guys time. Now, granted, I understand the trepidation. Kevin Patullo has not instilled confidence in me yet. It's been 6 games, and I've not seen a complete game yet. Now, I also understand, too, that this is a guy who's first time being in this position. Nick Sirianni did this before with Brian Johnson, trying to give guys a chance, like somebody gave him a chance. No arguments there. I think now, especially that he's won a Super Bowl, you have to give him that cachet. That being said, this has to work because you lost Shane Steichen, help get you to a Super Bowl. You lost Kellen Moore, help get you to a Super Bowl. Those two guys helping you run the offense. The offense was running at peak capacity, efficient, elite, great. The moment those guys left, things have just not been the same offensively. So Kevin Patullo is definitely under fire. What they do as far as possibly bringing in an offensive consultant, I think that's something that's on the table. Now, there's been a lot of rumors apparently that Doug Peterson, first coach who helped bring a Super Bowl title to Philadelphia by defeating those Patriots in Super Bowl 52. There's rumors out there, some conjecture that he might be willing to come on as an offensive consultant. He spoke as much in an interview with Dan Sileo on Jakob Sports Media, basically saying he has been interested in that. Last year he was just kind of mentally drained and just didn't really feel like up to it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. The guy that I think you need to really keep an eye out for is Frank Reich. Frank Reich has had a year or two now away from the Panthers, away from that David Tepper situation and the madness that entails, being away from all the chaos, having to, groom a young quarterback to prove he's a legit guy and prove that he's the number one pick, come in to help a team that you've already helped before win, help establish something that can really help elevate this team because this team needs juice. Kevin Patullo is... And it's weird because in the first half, I think he has some creativity to his play calling. I think he has some uniqueness to his play calling. It's just not consistent. And if this team is going to be able to compete, you can't have things like this derailing your season because I can promise you, if he doesn't figure it out, he can't expect some guru to come through the door and help him. Ain't no help coming. He has this role. It's a priority. It's different than what he's used to, but he took on the role. He has to get this done. And it's the only way the Eagles can really salvage it. Because make no mistake, you have a matchup against Minnesota coming up at 1 p.m. Sunday. That game is going to have a lot of implications on playoff seedings and standings within the NFC. You have to win that game if you're Philadelphia. So, be that as it may, Eagles lost a tough game. Got some time to bounce back. Got some time to salvage some things. You're still fighting for the number one seed at this point. Still fighting to try to get home field advantage. That still needs to be the focal point. But most importantly than that is just start playing feel-free, fast, fun football again. It seems very hard. It seems very tedious. It seems very arduous. Guys got to get back to having fun. I think if that happens, this Eagles team will be right where they need to be going into the rest of the season and will definitely be the team that we expected them to be to start the season. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. As always, I love you, and thank you for plugging in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the Monday Night Football games tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another episode.